This is an Icon Ministry production with the support of our ministry partners and donors.
There was a famous YouTuber who tried to beat a world record. Now, his aim was to stay awake for the longest time. The world record was about 9 or 10 days. He wanted to beat that record. Well, he did beat that record, and he broadcast it live on YouTube and on TikTok. And I would tune in every few days and check how he was going. And it's pretty incredible. He stood up the entire time. He would sit down, but even towards the end, you'd see him standing up and falling asleep. But how did he beat the world record? Well, he needed 3 things to beat that record. The first time is to have a purpose, an intention. He was driven. He knew he wanted to beat that record. That was his aim, and he aimed for that. So purpose, number 1. Number 2, preparation. He prepared for it, so he surrounded himself with people. He made sure the food was right. He ate the right diet, and he made sure that he didn't eat things that made him sleepy. He made sure that he was close by to a place where he could wash his face, and he had a lot of preparation around him, and making sure that also there were loud noises that would go off every now and then to keep him awake. So there was a lot weeks, if not months, of preparation for this. The third thing was people. He had people around him to encourage him. So people who would stay there and shake him, people who would wake him up, and people would make sure that his eyes stayed open. And you should see him, they were just battling with him to keep awake. And he would just, even though when people were shaking him, at some points he was asleep. Well, this is what Jesus tells us to keep awake. Not 11 days, but this is what we need if we want to keep awake. So there are 3 things that we also need to prepare and need to do in order to stay awake. Jesus says, keep awake. So the first thing is to make sure that we have a purpose. What is your purpose? Is your purpose to get to heaven? Know your purpose. What is your aim? What is your goal? Write down your goal and make sure that you do the second thing, that you prepare for that purpose. That you set the things right. Go to confession. Surround yourself with the Eucharist. Surround yourself with things that are going to lead you to heaven with the right. Third thing, people. Make sure that you go to church. Make sure that you're surrounded by a community of people who lead you to heaven. We don't go to heaven just accidentally. We don't go to hell accidentally. But we need to prepare. We need to do these 3 things. Have purpose, we need to prepare, and then we have to make sure we have the right people around us to lead us to heaven. Let's keep awake. Let's get ready this Advent. Let's set these 3 things up so that by the end of Advent towards Christmas, we will be so many steps closer towards Jesus.
This production is only made possible because of the generous support of Icon Ministry partners and donors. Please go to iconministry.com/support to make a donation.